This is the worst housing market that America has ever seen. Let me paint a better picture for you. I'm newly engaged and me and my fiance are looking for a starter home so that we can build some roots. We'd eventually start our family here. We'd have barbecues in the back. We'd get a fenced-in backyard for the dog. It would be incredible. But then this happened. $333,000 for a 1,000 square foot house. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, that's not so bad. Let me show you. This home that sold for $333,000, that was listed for $239,000, sold for $150,000 back in 2018 with no major improvements. In 2025, with a $333,000 sale price, 6% down and a 6.6% rate, gives you a payment of $2,250. But back in 2018, with a $150,000 sale price, 6% down and a 4.5% rate, gives you a payment of $859. The couple that buys this home today needs to have a household income of $125,000 a year, when the couple that bought this 1,000 square foot house back in 2018 needed a household income of $55,000. In 2025, $150,000 gets you this today in the same town. You might be thinking to yourself, oh, that's not so bad. This is what the inside looks like. So yes, that statement I made in the beginning is absolutely true. This is the worst housing market that America has ever seen. And for people like me who are trying to buy in, we are getting screwed. Like, follow, comment, and let me know what things are like in your town.
Why no one's freaking buying any houses right now, because it is so unimpressive. We are talking about a $500,000 fixer-upper. What? My husband and I went house shopping yesterday. Our budget is $500,000. We looked at 6 houses and 5 of them were fixer-uppers. Nasty. Talking like exposed nails hanging out of the floorboards. Like the kitchen hasn't been touched since 1982. And the only one that was kind of nice was in the literal hood. Oh, and besides that, it was actually only 2 bedrooms, even though it was advertised as 3 bedrooms. So there's that. And the house right next to it was a literal dump site. Yeah, so this one with the pool was the one that we were looking at. And the house, that was the next door neighbor's house.
Are we affording houses in the next year? More than anything, I want to buy a house, but seeing all these news reports coming out about interest rates being high as ever, housing prices high as ever, wages still the same, how are people doing it? I want to get into a home so badly that feels more and more further away. It kills me. Like, I don't want to pay $3,500 to $4,000 a month. Like, that just seems crazy. I need to know how people are doing it.
Now, what I'm about to say may piss a lot of landlords off, but I don't really care at all. But I'm going to read to y'all the qualifications that this person wants for this house. And it ain't an amazing ass house. We're not talking about anything super expensive. The rent, like I said, is $16.95, $40 application fee per adult. They want you to make 3.5 times the rent. Standard, for whatever reason, is 3 times the rent. When majority of Americans don't even make 3 times a $1,600 a month rent. I don't know where people just get up and be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna make this a national standard that people have to make 3 times the rent amount. Majority of people can afford 2 times the rent on a specific basic home like this. But this person is going even further. They don't want you to have 3 times the rent. They want you to have 3.5 times the rent. They want the last 2 years of your W-2s, the last 3 months of your check stub, driver's license or ID, social security card. They want you to make 2 months worth of rent as your security deposit before you even move in, and you have to have a credit score of at least a 670. I'm trying to tell you off the bat that disqualifies so many people from being able to be in a home that is decent. Let's add that up, why don't we? Off the rip, you have to pay first month's rent, $16.95. You have to pay $40 application fee per adult, and let's just say the standard adult is 2 adults, right? You have to pay, if you have a pet, which majority of people in Houston do have pets, dogs, it's a $250 non-refundable fee per pet. So let's just say you have a pet. We're going to add that up. And then you have to make 2 months of the rent to equal the amount of the security deposit. So that's $16.95 times 2. All right. And on top of that, we're not even talking about your utilities and all the things that you have set up. They want you to have rental insurance before you move in. Standard rental insurance is probably about $25 a month. Let's just say that. before you can even move into this house, sitting in a savings account somewhere or just idle money, you already got to come off of this amount of money. I don't know at what point we stop being human, though. Even as an investor and a landlord, at what point did we stop being human and we say money trumps everything, including people? I don't get it.
I get a lot of comments saying like, oh, you still live with your parents, you're 30 years old. Well, they built an apartment in the basement for me. It's a full accessible outside entrance. It's amazing. And it works well because, you know, I have my dog he's the family dog now. I just want to show you an example of the housing market on Long Island. Take a guess how much this house is. I'll give you a sec. $480,000. $480,000. And this isn't even in the town that I want. For $480,000, you walk in and you have your beautiful staircase. Oh my God, gorgeous. And you have, I assume this is the basement, given that that window's so high. Yeah. The bathroom. A bedroom. $480,000. Granted, yes, 4-bedroom, 1 bath. And this is what you get. Long Island, baby. Discouraging is an understatement. The housing market, I mean, all over, but especially on Long Island, is insane. Insane. How the fuck am I supposed to live? The amount of money that you would need to put into this house to get it livable, I feel like it would be easier to knock it down and just have the property. But at that point, I'd buy an empty lot of land in a town that I wanted. Like, I would sacrifice the town that I wanted if a house was perfect or near perfect or needed some work for the right price. Like, absolutely. What the actual fuck?
It sucks, but people are really drowning right now. Looking at the comments for my video about rent prices was like honestly depressing. You know, it's so many people out there that are in these situations, these circumstances where they can't afford their rent. Like, some of the prices that people were saying for the square footage that they were getting is insane. And I think this tells us one thing, that a lot of people are struggling financially. And let this be a reminder that you should take what you see on social media with a grain of salt. Somebody just got a new car, they, going on vacations. It's not to say that people can't afford to do these things right now, but just take it with a grain of salt, because most likely they're struggling, they're drowning too. I've even seen people comment down below saying like, oh, should we still be paying 50-50? Should it be the man 100%? And hey, I may tell you a joke, but I'll never tell you a lie, man. 2 incomes is more than one, especially during these times. Comment down below what your rent prices are in your city, because people need to see that this is all over. It's not just where you're at. And most importantly, God bless.
Are there people out there that have gone from owning a home back to like renting a home or an apartment? And why did you do it? Was it for the convenience or for the money saving or for both? Because lately I've been thinking that that would just be way easier. And everyone says that owning is better, owning is better. It's a lot of work. Keeping up the outside of a house and the inside is a lot of work. And we pay like double what we would pay renting to own a house. And I'm like, I feel like it would just be smarter to go back to an apartment and not have a gym and a pool, and I wouldn't have to take care of anything. And that just sounds like a better deal right now, especially with like how expensive everything is in the world. Has anybody done this? Is this a thing? I need to get on that side of TikTok. I want to hear everybody's opinion on this.
So I'm a millennial trying to buy a house, and I keep making the mistake of talking to my parents who are baby boomers about it. The housing market is obviously very different now than it was when they were buying their first home. And I think there is a disconnect there in what we can get and what they think that we should be getting. I'll like send my parents a house and it's like a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. And they'll be like, 3 bedrooms? You need way more than that. You guys both work from home. You already have a child, and 1.5 bathrooms? No, you need 2 at least. I don't disagree. But unless you're surprising me with a trust fund that I did not know I had for the first 33 years of my life, this is kind of the situation. And my husband and I commute into the city, and so I'll talk to them about how far it is from the city, and they'll be like, you can never do that commute. What? No, that's way too far. And I'll be like, well, them's the breaks, because we can't really afford anything closer. And so then we have to have a whole conversation about the commute. And then the kicker on all of this is I show them, like I've sent them the listing. They see the price, and then we talk about the price, and they're flabbergasted. And they're like, well, you should not be paying that much for that house. Again, I agree. I too would like to pay less for this house. But I don't really know what you want me to do. I can't single-handedly change the housing market, unfortunately. And the bigger kicker on this is my dad is actually retired, but he was a real estate developer for a lot of years. And my mom had the audacity of saying, wow, if only 10 years ago you thought about doing this, you could have bought a nice plot of land and your father could have built you a really nice house for way less. What do you want me to do with that information, Mom? I can't go back in time. I too wish I bought a house 10 years ago. With what money, Mom? Again, are you good? Like, I love you for you. Tell me about the trust fund now, because apparently there's one hiding for this house that I need to get. And you know, I only have myself to blame because I keep these conversations going. So it's my fault, honestly.